It looks fine. Do you want a new photo? Are you sure?
And then Mother's Day is mysterious.
Oh, not even Father's Day. I think so.
No, baby.
What?
She's crazy.
Very
She's melodramatic.
Also, I mean, the person who created representation is like, it's so incredible. And I'm like reading it, I'm like, he's so independent friend, obnoxious wife,
How's your mom, Ashley?
Oh, my. Huh?
Good. She was just like, it was her birthday on Sunday.
Oh my god. How old did she? How old did she turn?
61.
Your mom is so cute. She's so chic.
Hey everybody. Thank you for coming out. Thanks to Anthology Film Archive for having us in this space. I'm Bennett Bergman. I'm the publisher of Changes, and I am just gonna say like a couple sentences probably. I feel proud of Ashley. I feel proud of this book. Let's see, come on. Just calling attention. This is, I think, the 6th book that we've done with the press, and it's I think it's the third winner of this prize series that we did. I started the press with this book prize in the pandemic, and I was just thinking about this on the way over. Eileen. Thanks, Eileen. You're welcome. It's cool to be able to work with poets like that. And when I started the press, I called Louise Glib was the judge that we worked with for the first 2 years, and asked if she wanted to do it. And I was thinking sort of about the switch from Louise to Eileen and how that felt cool and meaningful, or felt like, okay, how do we live up to a name like Changes, or feels kind of silly, but how can it not feel silly? I was thinking about this thing in relation to Ashley and Ashley's book, that I remember one time I was on the phone with Louise, and it was Christmas Day. We were talking about some poems of mine, and she was like, you have this special way of naming dark truths, that wouldn't be fit for the Christmas dinner table. And I was thinking about, I think that glib is this sort of unassuming title for a book that I think does so much, but one of the smart tricks that feels characteristic of glib to me is that, Ashley has this way of naming dark truths, but in this way that feels sort of off the cuff, by the way. And the effect is stronger. I think that it's felt more strongly than if it were I think the other sensibility of naming dark truths that maybe when Louise was talking to me, that's what she meant. Where it's felt more deeply than if it was this proclamation or this profound insight where you pause for effect. it feels in this way like more devastating that it's sort of like named and moved on from that. So when I think about glib, when I think about the origins of the prize of the press, when I think about the gift that it was to work with Eileen, and the gift that Eileen gave to the press of this really fantastic book. Ashley is like the it doesn't feel this way, but is the youngest writer that we've gotten to work with, and it doesn't feel like young work in the pejorative way. It feels young in the exciting way, and so I think that's really all that I have to say. The front row panel here of readers, I think in the order that we're going to be reading is I'm gonna spare everyone, including the writers, the like paragraph bios, and just say that it's I feel fortunate to be joined by Matt Proctor, aristilde Kirby, Edwin Torres, and Eileen Myles, and then we'll hear from Ashley as well. So thanks
Right, I'm so honored to be here. I'm so proud of Ashley. I thought I would start at the very beginning, where it all started for me with the poem Post-Algonquin. I first met Ashley at KGB Open Mic, October 19th, 2022. She had me at Noise is the New Dad Rock. Her poems seemed to know who I was, even though we'd never met. It was post-Algonquin, but it was actually pre-Algonquin, because we hadn't been there together. She was wearing a pink wig. She cut herself. I told her I loved her poetry, went to the library bar afterwards. It was all very lost and translation coded. Our poems have been locked in correspondence ever since. Wherever you go with Ashley, poetry happens. We just write it down. Ashley creates great dialogue and rock criticism, a street walking cheetah with a heart full of napalm. We are sailing in poetry together. I'm so honored to be a character in your poetry. I love being alive with you, and here's some of it right now. Post-Algonquin. We are in the shop. The perfect functional beverage should have zero sugar or sugar alternatives. I am a sweetener stuck in perpetual genesis. I don't have ideas, I just have words. Cherry blossom liqueur tastes like a cherry cordial. Chocolates are for breakfast, but I don't eat breakfast out of contempt. Is noise dad rock? At least that's what Thurston said to me. I'd rather play guitar than write. I want to paint layers and layers of noise, celestial sound. Whatever happened to Weldon Keys? I'm a post-beat it girl. I drive Weldon's Plymouth Savoy into a lighthouse. I either create or curate chaos. I'm a speed walker, fast talker, soul stalker. The eyes I employ, the eyes I destroy, dissect, control. I'm laboring under a misconception that everything is cringe. What isn't cringe? I'll speak in hieroglyphics. I'll be prolific after I get the decrepit cat to play the piano. We are in the shop is our mantra. It's okay to be perfectly disgraceful. I'm perfect. Are you perfect? Walking in New York is like scrolling the internet. Wouldn't write about decay. So I'm just going to read, I was lucky enough, I am like the Tom Arnold of poetry. I'm Ashley's opener. We were just in San Francisco, and she was nice enough to invite me. And so this is sort of a little travel log. This is a vlog. We're very vlog. This is also like a cinema thing for Ashley. So this is our trip to San Francisco, and I think it has a lot of pertinent Ashley lore. It's called Row Ami. Daddy Macaroni, shall we? Ashley went to Ruth Asawa School of the Arts and graduated via chess bee, which means she was a child actor on Black Mountain. Too broke for little cable cars. They have our weather here. Everything has a question mark on it. Anxiety attack, espresso cup, periods, the end of the sentence, nails holding the frame in place. wearing the t-shirt of the city you're in, like the Weezer song. I don't remember what it originally said. Tractor backwards is rock cart. It gives you more to see later for the first time. The Waymos are coming. The Waymos are coming. Jaguar Waymos. See them in passing. I think they have a shot of that in Diary of a Teenage Girl. She's in front and the city is laid out in the background. You can take a cable car to Ghirardelli Square. Small batch dandelion chocolate. It's no longer cute. The bars kind of blur together. Adam Sandler and Jennifer Aniston had the first ever Instagram collab post. Ashley saw Bella Thorne in Las Vegas as a child. Circus Kid Casino. It's like gambling for kids. Minding my own business, God bless the jukebox, one of the last cool things in our society. I don't know how I got here either. Wait, yes I do, by imitating bookstores' 12-inch dance mix. Andy Mann's Treehouse had the Rentals album. This guy's got small press traffic upstairs. Best gin and tonic Ashley's ever had at the phone booth. Same bartender as last night at Vesuvio. The kitchen island was bar stools. Ashley's song finally comes on. Darklands, Jesus and Mary Chain. The Doors should become New Order. This song was in both Train Spotting and The Perks of Being a Wallflower. Got no place to be tomorrow. Ashley's swimming in a pool with Lime Ricky. Wearing all white like Mark Twain, Steve Martin, Tom Wolfe. We fell asleep on the field and woke up to the birds, watching the water boy on acid, destroying one pain with another. This song's so bittersweet to me. I'll be your plastic toy. The LSD hit when we were buying Eggo waffles. Ended with that guy slamming a shot glass into his forehead. It's a run's thread that people try to pink on me. Life's accumulating sound, making the rounds sound roses and bars. Carlos Santana tune playing till 8:30, and I'm driven to immediately start writing poetry. Bossa Nova, rock and rolla, establishing SSRI, you should be so lucky. Anywhere there's a Fez is good. The stories in this place overhang it. Never held a residency, never received a grant, never taught a workshop. Fueling the world's on fire, tiny espresso sews on facsimile turtleneck. Trying it out at sacred grounds. Stretch your heart out. Ashley's going on second, drunk and dragging home all the way from Mission on the 14. Daddy's sexy as hell. ATM in the phone booth. Bongos, tambourine, accordion, daddy-o. Trieste, Reggio, down from Washington Square, and fraternal metropoli, one for each of both. Like someplace you visited as a kid, comes back faded when you're old. Caught all the wind flying errata in one palm, like Pavarotti Appreciation Wall, commemorating one night he sang here in 1979. Picked up my wardrobe at the skate shop, REI Surf Outlet, running climbing wall with night blooming jasmine. Columbus does a San Francisco imitation, and San Francisco is one big dick's den. Thanks, Bill, for the wreck, and Mario for the limoncello. Give our regards to Yosemite Sam old-timey cowboy mustaches and floppy hats. The West Coast pop art experiment. Bartender's in now. Ashley knows her. Not poet presenting currently. Bought a chess pizza lava chicken acrostic. I can watch and not participate. My dad works for AT&T and I use Verizon. The Paris of the West Coast. Take the trolley from the Fillmore to the Haight. I refrain from lifting yellow horn, christened in champagne from golden sardine. Arfid about celery, which a guy is eating a raw stalk, dipping it in a jar of peanut butter. Too cold on the windswept promontory, Coit First Friday's reading. She's gonna start with abortion, bitch. Toy piano is also in the vlog. Don't like too much rah, rah, rah. Discount resident. Because of the tariffs, construction went way down. Perfect overlook table with charger, but I won't drink. I'm so excited for our trip. Stumbled into Nate's Lizard Lounge at the end of karaoke. Too late to put a song in. Trekking Jack Michelin Place above Grant on Gallery Hop. The San Francisco of the Midwest. She likes walking when she's drunk. I think I prefer the alienation of New York to the familiarity of San Francisco. I can see my eyes even better in these rooms. Pigpen handlebars, Brodigan whiskers, photo booth museum ran out of paper. Can't afford my new healthcare from those thrift stores. Tom of Finland buying queer weed. The animals in the petting zoo need a break. Ashley thinks Choke is better than Fight Club. Experiencing acid flashbacks, chapters of my life from this place at odd intervals and many different angles bringing me in. Since 2013, the great cities made us prepared for them. Now it's ready for the others. Angles hanging off each other at all odds, interrupting, intersecting Trans-America Pyramid, Divisadero to 707 Scott Street. Full House, Danny Tanner, Family Canary, Victorian painted ladies in Alamo Square. Ashley wants to fall in the grass. Everywhere you go, everything you see, it's a heart, it's a heart. Color-coded dishes indicate price of conveyor belt sushi. He kept complaining arduously verbatim, intense, sacred of time. Karma dementia of Japantown Mall, where Patti Smith goes on tour and wrote about in her book. Ashley stops to get Uni, City Study Series, Metropolitan Hiking, in which case you gotta hightail it back home, Precinct Cop advises. Nob Hill Street Fair welcome table gave me free green Wayfarers and flower sticker bumped to this cash. 3 phone babies on sale in Chinatown, Ichiban, Richmond, cable cars to Mars. Fillmore Burlap constructing a city in our phones. Our vlogs, a megalopolis. Lost my Buckeye shape to this place. My not doing out here, audition at Cobb's. Used to get so sad about buying new shoes as a kid because I was too attached and sentimental to get rid of the old ones. Spent the last of the sunset waiting for a cable car that never came. Ubered to Falk Harbor in the dark. Flew over here for the bread bowl, eating the holes like Queequeg and Ishmael in bed. We paid for the view so we get it about how much this table costs. Seal honking confused for a saxophone. Chip's cousin Buddy lived here, breaking into Skywalker Ranch for a job. Now boarding the Ponderosa, ordering one course at many restaurants. Now it costs too much to be great. Floating towers, isosceles protractor, and so went to Todd, wiping the Bill Maher off his face. Negligible in subwaves of Pisces, meshing with the older intermittent times I had, staining the now. With sureness for the price of one drink and a podcast about what happens. Bullseye apt, yellow horn, doused in Corbel. Which way do you put in the batteries? Askew flashlight wears Batman mask in the gallery. Let's get back to talking shit. North Beach bum, not to interfere with party, middle finger, D-bag, e-bike barn. Arf, 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 arf about arfits. Smoked the whole $7. Now I'm gonna pass out. See you later. Good summer, everybody. It has begun. Give it up for Aristilde Kirby, everybody.
Wow. Hi, everyone. My name is Aristilde Kirby. First of all, I want to say thank you to Ashley for having me on this blessed night. As Matt just said, it is glib summer. I think I saw Charlie XCX at the Barclays the other day on her little Jumbotron. She was like, you know what? I heard what y'all were talking about. I think we could do brat summer again. And I'm just like, girl, you're dragging it. I love the movement. And you gave it up so gracefully with that. Like, I think there was like a few weeks before, it's a turnstile summer, it's a Lord summer. It was just like you gave it up so gracefully, and now you're back and back, and I'm just like, let Ashley have it. Because truly, in my mind, if there is any poetry it girl, it's definitely her. I remember there was this term called new sincerity in the 90s, and of course I was like 6, so I didn't understand what the fuck that meant. But later, when I got access to the internet, and I started looking at stuff about metamodernism and stuff like that, and me growing up, like, on the wave of, like, films, like, I don't know, You and Me and Everyone You Know, and all that stuff like that, I always wondered, like, who would be the people who would grow up sort of, like, knowing, like, what indie sleaze was before it even had that label. It would be nostalgic for that time. And I think Ashley just sums it up so perfectly well. And I Tonight Show again, I think she would be very much a part of that. So thank you. Yeah, I'm gonna read one of my favorite poems from this. I'm a deep cut girly, and I'm gonna read Beachcomber. If nihilism is your punishment, then Sisyphus would be envious of your ravenous behavior. Slowest in a milky white texture after dark, my deliquescent heart is asphodel. The tenacious sunset bears witness to our leisure. Maudlin and silent, a helpless lark summons me to stay. The debauchery is purely episodic, interconnected vignettes of a past life taunting your slumber. Momentary Saturnine bliss to feed the skinny city foxes. Berlin has left me naked on a train station platform. I dropped my Sunday because I was high. I hunt a deer in my sleep. She is a quiet, clever thing. A week without sewing, a week without dreams. I cook tomorrow's stew in your mother's enamel pot, venison braised in an acerbic melting pool of cream. I hover over her, an apparition. It makes me feel small, like a bank of swans from a tall bridge, a currency lost in translation. Our parapet holds centuries of mystery. I hold on to the daisies left by my bedside. The houses by the sea stay the same muted colors, robin egg blue and pale olive green. Lethargic silence drools over us. One that only arrives past midnight when cars sound like tidal waves and waves feel like static. It's a maggot-filled holiday. It is bee-stained cake on a bittersweet Sunday. Clover fields emptied for cows to graze. Purity is reserved for strangers. I was never tall enough to meet your gaze. Beckoning overseas with a cigarette between each knee. It is time to wake up, to get going. But you are paler than heaven. This is becoming, not being, a sinuous evening. I cradle my fishnets behind the front door. Somnambulism takes you over by day. I find a broken seashell in my comb. Our eyes adjust to the light. Concrete never felt so good. Every era, saccharine and stale. I run past my own fingertips. Yeah, it's been such a pleasure to get to know Ashley more and more over these years, and more recently. Like, we've done karaoke, we've gossiped, we've drunk, and we've drunk, and we've drunk, and we walk the streets at night. And I just hope to do a lot more throughout the years. I'm going to read you one of mine, and it's called Quorthon/Quotient. And Quorthon, if you don't know, he was the singer and guitarist, well, singer, putting it mildly, screamer, guitarist for the band Vagary, the old black metal band. And it starts, this whole poem starts and ends with a quote from one of my favorite short story writers ever, Julio Cortázar. Number wings puddle in blood of a beached pink dolphin. No, nothing is ever wasted. Life, a fraction of brutal and beautiful. As above as a rock dove, so below as a common pigeon. A delt tattoo on a svelte girl at this reading displays a Saucerian pill and twin arrows in opposition. A week later, attraction to meeting dyadic finds its target. I write a poem thinking of you, looking for the met source of what is so significant. I cope this lone pines you round. There's a bed. I get so weak in the knees, I can hardly speak. I hold my 2MGS trace tablet to the diagram image on Wikipedia and take a pic with flash on. Is this how Moses Sumney felt on Tell Them from Blake's assumed form? To believe is, to me, a better feat. What makes me want to stay long? Something I can't deny I feel inside my hands. Question what divides one stanza and the next. Moses contemplates all the air mirroring between archetype and protosign. To finger Adam without touching him takes lightning. Give love, not manipulation. What one does to the numerator, one must do to the denominator. To say nothing of the or the origin, when all is done and gone, when all she does is whisper chemsex de facto into white caps or the iridescence of a neck, for birth's sake or some futile treasure of climax. I'm in Stockholm, drunk, wondering if my disease is real. And Mark like my father named Mark Wright. Dubo on my Orion bottle, pouring some out for a stealer of early black metal in Bathory's Corthon. My name is Cine, and I'm here without you, baby. And it hurts to the hilt of my bruised hip bone. And you're still with me in my dreams, where I found you strung out in time, like an upended U-pine, behind the music, behind the drapes, behind the plastic, sealed in the folds of oblivion like a folder in an attic, entombing an ancient mew. 3 doors down, and 9 cores drowned, swallowed in rice, hops, malt, and grief, because storms raise floodlines. It's like Frank said, in the wake of a hurricane. I write because someone might see this. Scrawl for help, jump off the roof like a kid. Even in ruins, our joy can swim. Even in ruins, to me, the song's still him. His branch droops down to soil like a brinacle, a bolt in the blue, freezing all the ground. 1/4 inch from death at all. A tip of thought slits me twice. Light, when it encounters an edge, changes direction. So when the hand of God approached, the more and more you saw your shadow fade in the beyond. Once upon a tesseract, deicide on the mind, a memory crucified. Christ denied, I lose you to the darkest expanse. A punctum in 6 years' worth of album pictures. Now I read scripture, drink Japanese beer, listen to R&B, hoping the blackness of Nero's soul can patch this growling space in me. Yes, I believe in him now. What else is there? It's not meaningless. You might as well say nothing. I read, I take trips to astronomy sectors at universities. I look into telescopes. My favorite is a Newtonian one. A tech tells me that if I defocus a given star, I can see its negative, an Arago spot, shine on edge, split by the device's second mirror, creating a dark light from the circumference, a paradox, an absence. I cry. Behind sunglasses, I hide my eyes from new bands I roadie for. Dark Funeral, Gorgoroth, Satyricon, Emperor, Life Lover, Behemoth, Dimmu Borgir. I cut myself. A failed MILF hides faith behind scars. Eating mass almond amounts, hoping their small poisons show me abyss, or that I get pregnant with Addis. My bandmates laugh at rest stops or venues as if it's a crime I try to seek peace in space. Cine, yes, obsessed with the heavens like Laplace. They want to know what I wear, is my lap waist. Bullet belt undone, decay slope unzipped, jeans, death triggers my seer. And when Send It On plays, I tell one I like that D'Angelo's real name is Michael Archer. That Earth's a finger painting, that our congenital heart defect spaghettifies everything. I feel full, not fallow. You spit on me and sleep, fallow. Mad I fucked Benny Vallow. When I strip, you feel slight curves, but see Naho in the flesh. I'm alive. Here's a sign. I pillow talk of trap moths, of how vices burst and pie. I say, the last shall be the first. And no, nothing's ever wasted. 50 number wings puddle in a beach pink dolphin's blood from the respiring semiosis ocean. Her inner world, limbed in mitosis, a setting 1,000 suns and suds. Yes, the thought of young fresh blood makes the hours go so slow. He buds. A reader observes the plane of content, divided by the plane of expression. Como si pudiera elegir en el amor, como si no fuera un rayo que te corte los huesos y te deja estaqueado en la mitad del patio. Thank you, Ashley. Thank you all. My name is Eric.
Ashley was my student at Columbia a few years ago. And the course is a weird course. It's called Special Projects, which is a purposely vague title. And it's people that have manuscripts that have hybrid, like poetry, whatever. I kind of try to guide them along the way. So Ashley was coming in with these series of videos. And I didn't know what to do with them because they were so like, where do I go? Like, how do we create a project out of this? And in reality, of course, as she knows, life is the project. You know, it's not one specific course or semester or whatever. And as the spring went on, she'd come in with our sessions were so brief. I didn't know what to say because I was just nonstop more and more and more and more. And I felt bad that I didn't know how to guide her because it was like perfect. So it was great to see like how this work became writing and became, well, not the videos were not writing, but like she kind of like, she's a writer. So the writing was in the videos and then it's now in this. So congratulations. I'm really happy to be part of this. I have a few short pieces and then I'll read Ashley's poem. I was on 4th Street in the 80s, the turbulent 80s, during my 20s. So I have some pieces that are somewhat city-based. Kind of like, I don't know if all live is necessarily in New York. It's more like an urban sense of wonder, a continual glib mindset. Okay. I wish we had that film playing all the time. Our compression of distance. People want to own what they aspire to be, to refract the immersion of what it takes to be owned. I am placing myself on the cover of a book I wrote, to become what I imagine by reading through it. I am placing myself on the pages of the thing I hold, to be sure that someone will hold me in return, to confirm the one in the hand of the other, how I think my mind into words, what it is I have thought and been and dropped, how these movements through time have identified a space I have owned, how my page is who I am when you hold me. No confusion, no doubt. What is being held is not the story of the person holding the page, but the story of another in the hand of another. There is clarity in the mission of both hands, a clear image of who has the ideas in these pages. To be clear, in the hand of the not writer, the image of the person who is the writer will be clear. The perception of the crystallized horse underneath the person is not to mobilize the fracture, but to read through it. Mad dementia in Little Italy. 8 New York abuelitas walk into an Italian restaurant. Grandona Mama is the name. 8 Chinese grandmothers and 1 Italian man walk to their table. The table that wants them seats them. 8 beast feeders walk into an Italian grandmother. Grandma Maman. 8 Chinese breast walkers walk into a marble bust, wearing ivory cappuccino fatigues. Please, sir, for today, the special. 8 bullwalkers storm a village, running with stationary policemen. Pamplona's money shot to choke on voyeurs thrown into the lion's mouth. 8 tourists in a coal mine, 8 social contortionists ripped out of algorithm's trifecta. 8 cautionary vibrators set on stun. 8 facial distortionists, 8 Bolivian tarantulas, ready for silent protest in togas of old world morality, walk into an Italian tourist trap. Little is not a country but a neighborhood, disguised as a nation, in a size to soften the blows of ethnic cleansing. 8 mountain goats walk into an Italian restaurant. Grandmama, mama, 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 mama. How is please, sir, everything? Terrific, thank you. Buongiorno. Master waiter praises descent on his enemies while returning to the kitchen, glancing at the cloven despair of dark alley day jobs. 8 godless pharaohs commit afternoon faux pas for a Chinese bookie, the continent rubricked in a game of lunch specials for demagogues and gangster chefs. The culture wars were never this close on my 3rd grade map in the Bronx. 1 town over from China, 8 St. Generos walk into a street fair. No, mama, 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 mama. 8 Italian grandmothers will steam your shirt, all subtlety and dashiki tundra left intact. 8 freshly unwrapped Italian implants walk into a Chinese business meeting, ready for slaughter, lasagna bolognese and Peking duck on 1 plate. 8 mouth feeders will get the check if you spread your dime in a downtown dive that knows your name. This is one of my first poems when I was in East Village. 4 a.m. on 4th Street. 4 a.m. on 4th Street, it's that time. Chimes howl across my window like indigo. I'm not looking to hang with the numbers on 9th Street. Buy an ounce of 4 for 4 a.m. Pink sock cemetery crust across the kickstone, jam, butter, junk on a fix, black to meat, beauty on a dime, batter, toasted, trick, nope, sick, biggie, let's line, yup. Cross the street, 4 is all I'm looking for. TH another A and 4, twixt 12, pride the city, IB.I, pity, not any, 1, 2, 3, not me. Go home to you like indigo, lacing panties between black and purple rock, 4 a.m. or me. Prometheus approaching. How telling interior can be. How elocution of some interior heat calls out your soul to the bigness it wants. The recognition of some interior no, unraveled by reversing the spiral at your fingertips. To the love of your thievery, how likeness of citizen frames recognition by the groans you sling. Attempt a higher loss by gaining more. Name the prison you desire with final frailty, trapped on rocks you claim as cities deserving their night, with the honor of hours past. Steps taken, listen to yours. Call out the soul you desire to the body it wants. The run from that wonder, a truth to explore, across the bow of some interior love. And Ashley's poem. Adult child at the mass walker fixes. Spotted mule, mad dog monkey, archival revival, as you arrive. Have you ever catered the last gathering through a window? Do I walk? Can I talk? Is that Kafka? Or a large beaked mouth? Adult, child, eye. My friend hears the gaze every time I say the gaze. I do more than eat hot chips and lie. She doesn't know I want to kiss her. She claims I'm afraid of butterflies. I'm not good at counting. I was underpaid at the curiosity shop, selling black diamonds to debutantes. I haven't debuted to society. I'm afraid the entrance will be premature. I can't tell slopes from sides. I skipped the math portion of the SAT. Clean hands will damage the art. I used to play Foursquare in 4th grade when I read the Metamorphosis to seduce the school librarian. She never thought I had brains. I am a chalkboard. I am hazy. Don't you hate when things are irregular? I am unsure how a color band should behave. I was put into therapy before I could tie my shoes. Bunny ears sure beat the loopity loop.
This is so fun. I'm in the mode of I refuse to read your poems. I think poets should cover each other, and so I would cover you someday, any day, but mostly we mostly cover each other when we're dead, and you're so not dead today. So I don't disapprove of anybody else reading your poem, but I feel like for me, I disapprove of it, So what I do, I will read the really well-picked blurb on the back that I wrote. Which is the main. I love that the reason you guys can blame me, Ashley, and Bennett for us being here tonight. So I think that's pretty cool. But the main reason you're holding this book and I'm writing about it is that I couldn't stop reading. I've read these poems fast and I've read them slow. It doesn't make any difference. They are very crowded poems. There's lots of stuff, but I don't get full. It's like a forest in which one tree is painted, and that's the end. So I love this work. I think it's so great. So I guess I felt like the best homage to you is to read like 2 poems I wrote today, one of which you're in, so it's sort of a poem to you. And then whatever else I found on my computer today that I had never read before, that are like new poems. So I thought just to be new with you is like as cool as it could be. So I'll start with this one, which is called On the Cushion. I think the one I wrote with you in it is a good poem. The other ones are not. They're varying quality. So this is called On the Cushion for Jana. Cancer-connected tissue, not blood-borne. Is there a homey place somewhere in here that I can make? Once you're here, it seems like you're always there. What's left, Eloise? HowDoIFly.com. Yearning, and then I ran. Sam, Sam, Sam. The bird calls. My poems for the subway. Scholar, huge. Going forward at the end. Slip the surly bonds. Be transformative. Mold, maze, Ryan tree carton. Circular building and slide carousel. The theory of twilight. That writing, Joseph Boys, Le Guin. Orange crane digging the cunt out of the neighborhood. The construction is too interesting. This is meditation. All the crotches of the trees. The captain's paradise. Eggs, yellow. Suddenly there are places in here. The construction of a palace. A hard, bright bark pleases you. Bloody exit. Unlike cooking, naked. That's one. And this one, okay, this one is an occasional poem because I went, our friend, Nicole Eisenman, and some of you guys were probably at this party. She turned 60, and so she had a birthday party. And so I thought, what am I going to give her? And I thought, I'll write her a poem. So I went to the party, which was a great party. It was like one of those great New York parties, and everybody kept coming, and I was like, what a great night. And then I thought, well, I'll just, when people start doing toasts, I'll slip in my poem. But fucking Christine got the mic and started performing so loud that the neighbors complained, and the party was shut down at 11:30, and they never read my poem. So this poem is called 60 Fleas. When Brother Nick picked up a stick, there was art. I have seen their faces in many tiny cubes. I have seen them discipline dragons. Aries arise at ease by the seas, atop the degrees of elation, rich and sad, our friend, lover of women and men, and the multiple gradation of gender, kind, animal kind, mineral kind, self, wielder of big crane, tiny flick of a brush, lush crayon, you do that. Poet, I think, friend of that, kind, member, blender, 60 times, all chant 60, 60, 60. You've had the sensation of summering and wintering and fathering and mothering, son and sibling, hiss, sipping coffee, troubled, thriving at rest, oh various human. Oh God, where's the last page? Punisher of men and handsome mechanic, all chant Nick, Nick, Nick. Artisan supreme of Amazon world, shoving the cages into light and normalcy, glee, free man, find more love, keep speaking freedom, to us, your heart and your brush, your gust, oh lamb man, Nick, all chant, Nick, Nick, Nick. There's that. And, okay, this, somebody asked me to, Barry Schwabsky, who's a poet and an art writer, was doing an alphabet, so he signed all these poets a letter of the alphabet, and I got K. So I just don't like to do anything in public without talking about Gaza, so here we go. It's KKK. Krill, kill, you're the middle, arriving here and flying, gunk, dead, splat, children with scars, all the remains, some legends, the generation hoard and knowledge crushed before and after. Glittering day, a gray holiday. You've stolen my phone. Ralph Kramer's a lout. Big bus driver with a smooth step. He died in it. He politely asked if he should use a mask. Craft kill. AI views the neighborhood. Then you get home, you're dead. Kids are dead. Your lenient spouse, the program said, was fucked to death, thrown bottomless on the prison yard. He's KCL, King's College London, not a word. K, dead. The mother had no bread. He was in her body, contaminated water. When she breathed bad air, heart stops. Baby born sick. Couple of days later, he passed. His parents couldn't speak. No one pressured them. Don't speak, it's K. Sniping children, that's K. Essentially, kill death. Cut off all the food, water. Krill feeds the whale, and the ice feeds krill. The ice melts, krill die, won't feed the whale, we die, we all die, I write to kill.
Mm.
Woo! Now, here's the one I wrote today. It's called Vow, May 14th. Large festival, my friends were sneaking in for some rule. You know, I woke up in the middle of the night and I had this weird dream, and so I did that thing you do where you take down notes of what the dream was. And then I woke up later and I was like, So, large festival, my friends were sneaking in for some rule breaking or something. And now it was the second year, they were back. Large stage with many rooms, etc. And they in costumes, and I made a piece of many light things, a pile of things, but I had to go out and do something else. But the piles of light things was so aesthetically pleasing in the end. I would go to the celebration of the young poet, and I would give her some of this. I would give her, in the room, the hollow pit of my morning, construction and rain, how my laundromats are all gone. This is my morning. The dying alarm in the hallway squeaks. My building that heard the desperate sounds of my young dog being re-traumatized by the abandonment caused by travel. My poetry mostly. Poetry is cruel, Sasha. And poetry is cruel, Ashley D. The squeak in my halls is unkind. The clatter continues into my day. The rustling of wood and boards. This is not when I needed to write. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So now, thou, Ashley D. Escobar, I toast.
Okay. It looks good. Okay. Yeah. Yeah.
We got a stylist.
Give it up again for all of the amazing readers, Matt, aristilde, Edwin, and Eileen. Thank you so much to everyone at Changes, especially Bennett, and thank you so much to Vance for designing this amazing cover.
Is Vance here?
No, he couldn't make it.
So good.
Yeah. Thank you so much, and also thank you so much, Izzy, who couldn't make it tonight, and Kyle for being an amazing editor, and thank you to all my friends, and of course Eileen, who couldn't stop reading the book. Yeah, so I'm gonna just start reading from glib. I'm gonna play some of my vlogs that Edwin was talking about in the background. And tonight's kind of like my media night because I dropped out of high school, so I never went to my senior year media night, so this is kind of like my media night. Also poetry. Random rules. Our neighbor tore down identical houses. I scrubbed the bottom of the pool with gelatin and ginger ale. I vomited up a prophecy in a dive bar, inhaling hot dogs. I quit smoking for the 112th time and lost my liquor license to the tambourine player, who found ambition in a tropical fish tank I broke when I wasn't high. I divorced myself from 8 balls and biblical names. I was told I was too young by a man who wouldn't let me see his eyes. People have lives, what can I do about it? Abortion bitch. I'm building a city on my iPhone. Will you throw the soup on Warhol? My hands are tied by Lolita hair ribbons. I'm moving into a library. I'll sleep underneath the signed first edition of The Catcher in the Rye and steal stale popcorn from the cinema next door. Is this avant-garde? Is this REI? No, this is not REI. Did you just say this is REI? We are in the shop. Cancan no longer serves teenage art hose. Is this twee? Is this avant-garde? Is this improvisation? Is this jazz? Is this a revelation? Is this a moving part? Am I a moving part? Are we moving parts of a tandem bike rolling into the Central Park pond? Why did people stop being so beautiful? Quit using the word cinematic to describe life. The Greeks didn't have moving images, they spun pots. Am I a moving image? I'm 3 years younger than Dorothy Parker. The sprawl visited for Lulu. Every city in America looks the same. We are mountains hiding townies. I am not a townie. My mountains are malls. I'm hippy-dippy uptown, but upstate I'm too formal. Even as I ash lavender cigarettes into a Venus ashtray. I left my purple tie-dye shirt in California. Mountains sprawl behind the strip mall health food store. I balance my chakras with pomegranate and lemongrass and retox with an olive roll from Brenalone. I'm alone on the train back to Penn Station. I'm no Holden Caulfield. I don't lose things. I protested my life watching art house films from a deconstructed twin bed. These days, apathy has no purpose. It's misguiding me. I can't bear knowing I won't outgrow my spine. We don't know why we run away until that fragment of our lives is just an image of our white Crocs submerged in stormwater. Premiere. Last stop, Matt's apartment, 2 blocks away from the Chelsea. I'm Emma Roberts in adult world, except not as naive. I wait until the end of every open mic instead of going home. I never get the dollar slice. I throw myself on the ground, wrestle any floorboard until I get a nosebleed, and pretend I'm asleep as he faces the wall. I once had a food Twitter, but all food feels bland when you're full. I want to nibble on green olives, cheese cubes, and cornichones, and stop being yelled at by adults. Matt yells at me over Sunday night Frank Sinatra, but won't pull my hair. He's not into that. I'm into the Bright Eyes song and collective prayer. I'm capturing currency through melted chocolate coins, not Instagram lives. What about Hockney's New York? There are no new waves, only ocean, so I push him into the pool. He posts the blurriness I try to capture, but I know the algorithm won't share it with my followers. I manipulate toy trains and derail the Christmas tree. At least I don't have to deal with the consequences. What should I give up for Lent? Liking the Pixies doesn't make you quirky, nor does going to a liberal arts school, but there's an overlap. I'll trade books for bread and butter pickles. Am I the poetry project of the film world? That really was a big Q&A. This one's called Brodies. I dream of Matt's cock at restaurant number 3 between bites of Riviera salad and garlic knots. We end on Perry Street, overcoming our mental breakdown on the balcony of Popeyes. We've sailed in poetry since Thursday. He lost his rolling papers in Tompkins. I think the mouse wanted a drag. I'm glad I speak to real mice and not toy mice. I can't handle self-infantilization. I can't handle targeted ads for phone dolls and conflating myself with kittens and fawns. I can't handle the West Village without acid flashbacks. I'm a morning and an evening person. Afternoons eat me alive. I pocket the olive he spits into my palm. Memory babe. Losing it, laughing everywhere and anywhere is prohibited. Semblance of style and I, LARPing the art school kids we were a mere 2 years ago. Dachshund of my youth, museum glass at my feet. I am every matinee of your heart, reading slow as a form of elongation. I don't want a lot, just forever. Night Hotel. Can you live stream in the Night Hotel? I'm waiting for you in pigtails and a tennis skirt. I'm at the foot of everyone's midlife crisis. We're in a post-Bret Easton Ellis world. The world we write is the world we live in. Wasn't that the New York school? I'd have a Coke with you, but your teeth would rot. Your teeth are most precious, a neighborhood of pre-gentrification dive bars to smoke inside. People are afraid to merge, but this isn't a freeway. There are no signs of life besides the bellhop. We don't have bags, only desires. Drive us into the Hudson in a rented Jaguar as I give you head. My teeth stay hidden. Followers will theorize our disappearance. Found footage conspiracy. Norman fucking Rockwell was born a few blocks away. You're buying an eighth for 15. I'm drifting toward room service. I would go out tonight, but my phone isn't charged. I would go out tonight, but when you return, we'll just fall asleep.
What's the one with penguins in it? It's sort of long.
On Penguins in Brooklyn, of course.
You want me to read it?
Written request.
Play Wonderwall.
This is kind of, okay, we're in it. On Penguins in Brooklyn. The protagonist feels like she's never leaving, stuck on a moving walkway in the middle of Cincinnati International Airport in Kentucky. Headphones dangling, she listens to Mitski sing about writing sad songs. 20 is too young to be at an airport bar. Does this count as being in Kentucky? The protagonist keeps forgetting she moved to Brooklyn. The protagonist forgot about the olive farmer from Spain and his red curls like red springs on Valentine's Day. But she doesn't forget about you. She reads. She read some Sally Rooney book, the one where the protagonist meets that married couple at a poetry reading. She keeps looking for you at every poetry reading, but you're busy drinking $7 blueberry matcha tea in that new cafe by your Brooklyn brownstone, the cafe that used to be a yoga studio that used to be a light bulb store, where she helped you pick out a penguin-shaped nightlight for your son's nursery. Your gelatinous wife didn't like it. Your gelatinous wife never liked her. There aren't any penguins in Brooklyn, but there were penguins at the 21C hotel at the writers' conference you took her to, where everyone spoke on posing and voice and Sally Rooney. The cluster of neon green penguins still haunts her. There are no penguins in Brooklyn. There are bridges. Do you ever think of the Brooklyn Bridge? How 20 dead bodies are perpetually suspended in its granite towers while she's turning 21 in August. Or is it only the Queensboro Bridge, which Gerald promised you, as the city's first wild promise, promises a fist fight and fire escape, a Glossier lip balm, and you know that I've never liked Sally Rooney, but I've never told anyone that. Like I've never told anyone that your son still carries a stuffed kangaroo Rooney when he's forced to visit you those 2 weekends a month. You don't think 2 weeks is very long, but I tell you it only takes 2 weeks to die of dehydration as you sip your blueberry matcha latte. I drink my coffee black. It makes you insecure. I wish I didn't have to attend poetry readings with your other gentrifying friends. They keep asking me if I've received the new Sally Rooney proof. Your friends will work at FSG, that place that wouldn't publish your third novel, and you have to outsource it in a foreign country. I like the idea that there are penguins in Brooklyn, and that you still text me, where are you, when I'm snorting coke at a party with the Jonathans, Franzen or Lethem, never sure which one is which, except one is friends with your mortal enemy. Arch enemies to lovers is your least favorite trope. We're definitely tropes like every Sally Rooney couple, like every Phoebe Bridgers song. I met the olive farmer in Bushwick. He thought everyone in Bushwick was an olive farmer, but they were beekeepers. You always went boating on the Atlantic. I've never liked the Atlantic. Their crosswords are never hard enough. My friends think you can't get hard. I think it's hard whenever it's winter and I haven't seen you for 2 weeks, and you remind me 2 weeks isn't very long. And you actually like the new Sally Rooney book. You think it's her best one yet. But I think it's missing the Bronx Zoo, because while there aren't any penguins in Brooklyn, there are penguins in New York, and Sally Rooney will keep pretending she's a college student because she's deeply unhappy. And I will still be in Brooklyn as someone on my windowsill in a silver stovepipe hat. This one is called Vacation Noir. I watched the seagulls on my dress and the bike laughing at me. I spilled my guts to everyone. You can read the Bible, but you'll never win the war. I strummed the same 3 chords, expecting a new hurricane on Valentine's Day. 2 + 2 doesn't equal pink, neither does wearing sunglasses to the club. And this one is my last one. It's called Toy Piano. I won't be ready when you come around. I can't stop listening to shoegaze or wearing Mary Janes in the rain. My socks are pastel pink with tiny cherries. I'm cherry-flavored everything. I'm culturally significant. I threw up on the KGB stairs and performed after. Drop kick my life. Pretend I don't have scurvy. I knew a kid who believed he had it, blamed me for not saving him from the cliff. I was a coyote eating blackberries. Talking feels like clawing through the brambles. I hung dried flowers on the wall, ate all the loose petals, now I eat walls. I am both sign and signified. We went on a road trip, but neither of us knew how to drive past sprawling lawns of highlighter yellow toys and frisbees. It's August in this stream and the next. Thank you.
We'll have wine in the lobby and Bible will sell them for cheaper than you can get them anywhere else. Yeah, thanks for coming.
Yeah, I forgot your hair used to look like that. Oh my god.
We're gonna go to the restroom real quick.
Yeah, that's how yeah. Well, here's how we met. Yeah. Were you at Nick's party? Yeah. Right?
I'll leave my. I mean, it was.
I have video of Christine, and I have video of the cops coming. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, wow, yeah.
That was hilarious. I'm still kind of think that.
What's that?
Did you give Nick that phone?
I did give it to her, yeah. No, she hadn't heard it, which is really funny.
I might actually be reading it, so I might.
Yeah.
That was a very fun party. Recognize probably. It was, yeah. I mean, I told Nick, I was like, yeah, the cops came, but that makes it even more. I mean, we were all kind of sad, and I was like, well, that does.
It's sort of adolescent, right?
Yeah.
That works.
Right, thank you for watching, everybody. It's glib. Okay. Oh, there's that's Jay. We did it. Thank you, everybody, for watching. All right. You want a picture? Okay.
Yeah, of course.
Cool, yeah.
Okay. I think you're all in here.
Thank you so much.
All right, and 1, 2, 3. Oh no, that's the charger.
I sounded it.
I love hearing the video at the same time.
Yeah, I love your neighborhood poems.
Oh, yeah.
We killed it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was a really good thing. Thank you for curating this. Yeah.
That was that.
Yeah, why is this stuff in the Sally? I've never read a Sally Bernie, but it was
You also did vacation one, which is also students too. That would have been one I do.
That's all this is reverse.
Yeah, I edited heavily for this because I was like, I need to make something
Oh,
good.
great. It sounded so organic and fluent. You should publish that. As a chapbook.
That's actually what I was gonna do.
Absolutely.
I was, because I have like 10, 15 pages.
Yeah.
Because I
That
didn't
would
do
work
that.
perfectly, yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Thank you for that.
Yeah. That was such a Louise Glick thing. Did I ever meet, I don't know if I met her, but she sort of wanted to hang out. And so she kept making dates and breaking them.
Oh, wow.
And then she died.
Oh, wow.
So it was kind of weird. And then, I mean, I have all these strange connections with her. and she keeps coming up. So I was like, here it is again.
Yeah,
Here it is.
Did you actually go to the Psycho Bunny store?
No.
I
Oh,
always-
yes, I did.
Yeah, I always see it, and I'm like very like curious.
Yeah, I know. I don't know what made me go in, and I was like, I want that.
Yeah, that is like the ultimate,
It really does do something.
right,
It
yeah.
kind of, yeah.
yeah.
So I bought a Ralph Lauren shirt for the other day, and I thought, I can't go around with that. So I went onto Etsy and I found an embroidered watermelon, like a Palestine thing, and got a tailor to cover it.
Another cake.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
It was great to be forced to write a poem, and I thought it's kind of,
You're also not telling us this, you're just letting us in.
She knows me so well.
yeah.
It was awesome.
Projection is real massive. Okay. Okay. Thank you. I think it was great.
That's mine. Sorry about that.
Thank you.
Yeah.